What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at a banger of a team I found in the Spring Cup, and this Pokemon, this team, this whole meta, Klefki just bends it over backwards and says, "You're mine, I win." This Klefki is ridiculous. Now, fear not if you don't have a Klefki, because I know a lot of people don't. It's a very inaccessible Pokemon. It's a French regional. It was only available in Madrid Go Fest last year, I believe. You're lucky enough to have one. The IVs won't matter too much. Just any good traded one will do just fine. It is a very strong safe switch in this meta. But if you don't have one at all, you can use an Amoonguss or a Galarian Weezing in the same slot. You will do just fine. And this team is going to have a Gastrodon lead, the most underrated Pokemon that people are forgetting about. This slug is in the meta, and it is so good into the core Pokemon at the top of the rankings. Very neutral into most of them. Very, very strong into things like Tentacruel and all the other steals that are very strong in this meta, like Klefki itself and Mawile. And speaking of Mawile, we're going to round out the team with a Shadow Mawile on Firefang. We basically have a very strong answer, a very neutral answer to the common things, and that anything that has the grass typing, we have two strong answers to grass in the back. So let's get into these battles here in the Spring Cup. Check this team in action. We got a Jellicent lead in the first game, and this is a neutral lead for us, but I do remember from losing CMP as the Jellicent that Gastrodon does, so if that ever becomes important in this matchup, I remember that information. However, this is also my first game with the team, so a bit of a learning curve, so to speak. I'm not really sure how to play this matchup out. I just know that my Mawile really doesn't, I really don't want to see that here. So I'm going to go for the Earth Power. I get the shield. My opponent is going to go ahead and go for a charge move here, and I shield up thinking this could be a Shadow Ball, but they're going to save energy, gonna go for a Surf, and then they bring in a Amoonguss. And I think that one of the reasons why I love Klefki so much as a safe switch is that it pretty much just beats all the grass types. Like, it just, there's no grass types in this meta, I don't think, that do any, like, Arboliva, I think, only wins because it has Earth Power and it's a normal type. I know that that's in the meta because I was looking for things to beat Klefki with, because I feel like it's going to become a very popular pick, but Amoonguss' energy is walled here, so it's a very safe matchup for Klefki to come in and handle. If the opponent wants Switch, they can have it, but they don't, and I make a critical error here by going in with my Mawile. What I should have done, and I was thinking, okay, surely I just get whatever I can out of this Mawile. It's not going to do very good into the rest of this team. What I should have done was I probably should have just let the Klefki go and then try to align my Gastrodon to the opponent's Galarian Weezing, or at least I just didn't want to give them the farm. That was really my main plan there, is I didn't want to give them the farm down, but now I feel like I've put myself in a losing situation, so I'm going to try to see if I can clutch up this game, and we're going to be going for a catch here on the Klefki. Opponent, however, not going to fall for it, but we do get to farm him down. And then the game forces me to overtap, and I don't get my energy off, and now instead of getting them within double body slam range, which I absolutely had a chance, but they do have the move here, so unfortunately, even if I had the double body slam, they would have won. So good game to the opponent here. Not going to win this first one, but if you're here, still stay tuned, because we have an extremely good run with this team. I've had a 7-2-1 streak with this team. That's basically 7 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. I'm up to a record high elo of 2630 after playing the 2 sets I had time for today. Tuesdays are busy here in the Felrose household. I don't have a whole lot of time to throw sets together, but I do my best because I know it's rotation day and everybody wants a good team for rotation day. So this is my submission to the community, and Klefki is an absolute boss of a Pokemon in this meta, dude. It just handles everything that's not an opposing Firefang Mawile or a Mud Slapper. It just handles almost everything else just so well, which makes it incredibly good, especially it was on this day one where everybody was kind of trying to find their footing and figure out what was good and what was not. One of my favorite things about Klefki, too, is that it can flip the Tentacruels. Like, we're going to start seeing, if Klefki becomes more popular, you're going to see a lot more people running Mud Slap backlines, and, even Tentacruel can't really hold a candle to this thing. Now, I'm up a shield here. I think I'm just going to bring in my Mawile. They don't go to the Overheat. Even if you're not running Overheat right now, maybe your TM pile wasn't kind to you, just make sure you build up to Overheat. 100% of the time, I shield a potential Overheat here. Or at least I probably do. It depends on Depends on how confident I am on my Gastrodon, but at this point, I've already miscounted. They're going for Brutal Swing and Sludge. I didn't think they were going to have Brutal Swing, and then I miscounted their energy. And I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I'll just save 2 shields for what's left of my team. Opponent's going to come in with the Tentacruel here, and I'm always shielding, even if it's an Acid Spray. This is fine. The opponent's going to go for the Scald, hoping for the attack drop, but they are not going to get it. They're going to get farmed down. Galarian Weezing in the back is not having any of this smoke, and they're going to concede. Good game. Next game, Gastrodon, the underdog, into Ferrothorn. Oh no, whatever shall we do? We're going to go into Klefki because that's our safe switch. And Klefki draws out a Tentacruel. That's what I'm talking about. If it's not a hard counter, like a Mud Slapper or Fire Fang Mawile, those are literally like some of the only things. Like ground types in general, yeah, they're going to take Klefki for a ride. But if the opponent comes in with anything remotely close to this, you can flip it. Shield if you need to. It's fine. We're flipping this. They Sludge Wave. That's fine. We can go for foul plays. They always tank the first, but then after that, they're going to have to start shielding. And our pacing is, we have a massive pacing advantage. I'm down to shield, but I can put my Mawile against this Ferrothorn. I'm just going to play this matchup out. I've gotten switch advantage. That's all I need. Gastrodon, you know, if they have an answer to Gastrodon in the back, then so be it. But if I can put Fire Fang Mawile on this Ferrothorn and completely neutralize it, just completely wipe it off of the game state here, because the Fire Fangs will rip through it before it has a chance to do much of anything. And even if it does get to fire some energy back at my Mawile, that is Mawile's only thing here, is just get on the Ferrothorn. So we did, and now they're going to come in with the Lapras they had stashed in the back. Gastrodon can handle this quite neutrally, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make a switch. I'm just pulling this one out of my rear end. They're just farming up, and I'm hoping that I get the call. And we do. Sparkling Aria is going to get absorbed onto Gastrodon, and they're getting incredibly low. I can go for Body Slam at this range. I can still tank a move also. Opponent is going to go for the harder hitting Ice Beam, so I'm pretty sure they're out of energy. I tried to go for it, but my finger missed the button for Body Slam after that second Mud Slap, so I ended up tapping over and doing another one. But opponent going for the shield, but they're not going to be able to do anything about it. Mawile is going to Fire Fang down, and that Ferrothorn ain't having any of this. Good game. Ferrothorn is just like, I would rather not. Barbarical in the lead. Now, there's one important thing. I was going to try this thing. This thing actually looks incredibly fun. It has Cross Chop, Stone Edge, and I was actually, because I was looking into building one earlier today, I know it has Grass Knot. So I'm going to shield up once. The opponent goes for Cross Chop. That's fine. They only go for 2 more Mud Slaps. This can only ever be another Cross Chop. So I'm absolutely fine to let this go. I know that I've gotten rid of the hardest answer, hopefully, on their team to my steals in the back, and they come in with their own Klefki. So I go for the Earth Power. Opponent doesn't shield it, thinking it's a bait. We're smoking right out of the gate here, and then the opponent comes in with Fire Fang Mawile, and I'm just like, all right, this feels like not a good time. But never fear. Gastrodon and Mawile are going to be able to handle this thing, plus the opponent kind of has given up the game at this point, I think. They're just not shielding, hoping that maybe I have a Ferrothorn or something in the back. That's pretty much their only hope. But at this point, Gastrodon is going to be able to outbulk this thing. I'm just coming with my Mawile. We're going to Fire Fang down, and that's going to be a good game well played to the opponent. So, you know, we're off to a 2-2 start, I believe, here. Gastrodon into Credilli. Ha! Never mind. Never mind. This is the second loss, I think. This was, I remember this one. This is what the hard counter looks like, okay? Now, my thinking here, right, do some chip damage, get it within a range where we can Mud Slap down. The opponent has to overheat in order to get a knockout here. And maybe the right move is to just shield the overheat, because the attack drop may mean that I can flip switch. Not going to be the case for me, though. I will try that next time I see the Weezing, because I'm thinking I've drawn out the Weezing, and now I can hopefully go for a farm down. Overheat's not going to do very much, neither is Sludge. So surely Mawile sweeps in the back. Opponent's going to go for the Rock Tomb. I am a Shadow Mawile. It would do about half or a little bit less than half. So I'm going to go ahead and shield it up here, and the opponent has a Tentacruel in the back. And at that point, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you got me. I'm not going to be able to do much to that Credilli. It's still extremely healthy. I'm just going to Power Up Punch and see if I can do whatever I can do at this point. Gastrodon needs to get a full farm down. They're going to go ahead and go for a move. I'm just going to let him have it. This is truly just an unwinnable game. Like it's fine. It's completely fine. They will happen. They will happen. Doesn't matter how good the team is. Doesn't matter how good you are. Sometimes games just can't be won, and it's okay. It's okay. We move on. We move on. We're going to go for an Earth Power here. just for the sake of maybe they don't shield it because they're trying to 2-shield flex. That was the only win condition I had, and I went for it. I'm not winning that good game. Picking up a 3-2 set to start, but hold your horses because this is where the gains come in. And we get hard countered on the lead yet again. Decidueye, we're going to go into Klefki and the opponent going to counter swap with a Tentacruel. And I said, yes, sir, I can flip this and I'm going to do just that. I have now experience knowing that I can flip this matchup. So Klefki is going to get to work doing what it does best and making trainers unable to just navigate a matchup that they really have never done. That's one of the things about Klefki, and that's why it's been so good in this early meta, is that almost nobody has actually faced a Klefki. People don't know that it's not Mawile, right? I would definitely expect that some of these Tentacruels came in because they're like, oh, it's just Mawile. Let me just go ahead and swap in my Tentacruel, and they are finding out that is not the case. To be honest, you could also run Astonish Mawile in here, and it would do just the same as a Klefki would. Now, I'm going to come in, or their opponent's going to come in with an Azumarill here. My win condition here is now abundantly clear, right? We just need to put Mawile on the Decidueye. I'm going to be going for a play rough right on 5. We will win CMP, meaning they're going to be locked into a charge move here. And regardless of what they do at this point, I'm coming in with my Mawile because the opponent is very unlikely to stay in and let themselves get farmed down by whatever I have. And we are going to be able to get in on the Decidueye. Opponent going for a move kind of quick here. They are on Leaf Edge, I believe, as well. They're going to go for the Spirit Shackle. Get a little bit of lag on the game there, but I'm just going to boof. We're going to boof them up. Beef, buff, boost. Power-Up Punch is going to get the shield opponent. Just, at this point, they have to shield something, right? So now we can just go for a full farm down to the Azumarill. I'm actually thinking about going for that Play Rough, but we're going to get the Fire Fang down anyway. That's going to be a good game, well played. By the way, don't play Azumarill in this cup. You are asking to be you're just going to ask to have a bad time. Genuinely. I mean that. Because there's so many things in this cup that just destroy it, right? There's Tentacruel, there's any of the grasses, really. I mean, Azumarill is one of those things, it's like you run it if that's all you have, but I hope that's not all y'all have. Try not to run Azumarill. It's really not good in this meta. Earth Power is going to nearly knock out the opponent's Saucy. Little Mud Boy in the lead here, but I'm going to be able to live 2 Mud Bombs, and I'm going to come in with my Klefki now that the Mud Boy is gone. The opponent in the back, what do they have? They're waiting out the timer. That means that they probably don't have a good answer to a Klefki, and their best response is Ferrothorn, and this is pretty much going to be a game over unless the opponent has a very good answer to Mawile in the back, and they're just going Mirror Shot. And I remember this game. I have never seen so many consecutive Mirror Shots not get a debuff. I genuinely felt like this was like one of those, like, here you go. This is all your bad luck coming back in a form of good luck. Because if the opponent gets a bunch of debuffs here, it's painful. It's just painful. I could definitely switch in Mawile at this point. I'm basically saying you had a Mud Boy in the lead. I'm just hoping that you don't have an answer in the back to my Mawile. But at this, I'm just going to save my shields for it and hope that it works out for me at this point. Opponent is going to drop both shields, though, into the Ferrothorn. And at this point, I'm like, you know what? You want the shields, you can have them. However, at this point, I made a mistake because I'm thinking I know that they've been throwing the Mirror Shots as soon as they get them. Surely they're not going to get to another Mirror Shot and I can farm down. And that's what I was hoping for. Now I'm going to get them like, you know what? This farm isn't worth it. In case they debuff me, Mawile comes in. They have their own Mawile, and we're just going to chew each other to bits here. Going to go for the Power-Up Punch since it looks like they had a 1-turn swap delay, which means that I can get this charge move in. And now I'm actually going to swap into my own Gastrodon and look to catch, which is a bit of a risky move because of the fact that they're Power-Up Punched, but we get the Mud Slap through, which is going to put them within 1 Fire Fang range, and that Ferrothorn isn't going to survive very much longer after that, so it's going to be a good game, well played. Next game up, Gastrodon. Shelly's looking at a Golisopod, and I can't, dude, I thought I was 5-head with this Gastrodon lead thing, okay? This was supposed to be, let's beat all of the Tentacruel leads. Let's beat all of the people running Wheezing lead, right? Mawile lead. I thought I was 5-head, dude. No, I caught a Golisopod, I've caught Ferrothorn, I've caught Credilli, dude, I've caught every bad lead under the sun with this team, and yet somehow we're still going positive. We're going to come in with the Gastrodon here. Opponent can go for a Play Rough if they want. At this point, I basically have to put my faith into the Mawile because I know that my Gastrodon is aligned to the Golisopod and it's not going to have really any play here. Opponent, however, comes in with a Venusaur, and now because I've done some chip damage to that Golisopod, I'm hopeful that maybe Mawile can make some magic happen, and opponent is staying in here to throw a charge move. Now, this Frenzy Plant will do a lot, and I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I want to take the Frenzy Plant or if I want to take the Aqua Jets that are going to come after. Because if I take the Frenzy Plant, there's a chance that that Golisopod is going to be able to farm me down with the Shadow Claws, which it very well looks like they probably could have. So at this point, I'm hoping that they don't have 2 charge moves. If they do, then I'm going to probably have a bad time. It looks like that was a CMP tie. I want to go for this Power Up Punch to go for whatever damage I can. Maybe a 1 HP and a shield KO, but unfortunately it looks like they had more than one. So they're going to be able to knock us out with the Aqua Jet here, but Gastrodon is now going to be able to get the Mud Slaps, but I'm going into the... Oh, dude. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. I was smashing the Body Slam, hoping I would get there before I would be at 1 HP. Thankfully, Gastrodon coming through with that farm down and Body Slamming the Golisopod for a win there. Blink and you might miss it. Gastrodon into Amoonguss. This isn't actually a bad lead because not a lot of Amoonguss are running Grass Knot. Most of them are on like Sludge Bomb Foul Play. But once again, we go into Klefki here. Opponent realizes they should probably keep this alignment, but they realize it a little too late. Klefki gets a bunch of farm here. Really nice head start. And because the opponent is on Shadow Tentacruel, we are able to put a lot more pressure into them with these fast moves. And they go for an Acid Spray. And you know what? That's fine with me because I am always going to shield that move. It doesn't matter what it is. I'm never going to try to call an Acid Spray. If I can win switch, I'm going to take it. Opponent going to have to go for, they have to go for a lot more than just some jabs at this point. They could Acid Spray me again, and we're in a range where we can now farm down. That's fine. We go down 2-0 shields, so we're 1-0 shields, and they come in with Gastrodon. Very, very uncomfortable for Klefki, but at least we get to a move. But, I mean, I basically just come in here with my own Gastrodon, and that's kind of what I need to do here, right? So we're going to go for the Body Slam here as the opponent's getting to their Earth Power. We do lose CMP as well, which is a little unfortunate. We have to take this damage, but the chip damage is nice. I'm hopeful that Mawile will be able to have enough HP left over afterwards to be able to deal with this, but the opponent goes straight into Amoonguss, and because we are down, I was thinking about switching immediately, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right call or not. They're going to hit us with a Grass Knot. That's going to do a ton of damage, and unfortunately, because it's a Shadow, going to prevent me from being able to get to a move here on Mawile that's not Power Up Punch. And honestly, Fire Fang, not going to do it, but we're going to get the farm down. Can we get to the move? Is the Body Slam going to be enough? Opponent getting the Mud Slap through. This will leave us in one range of Mud Slap. We're going to need it. No, the opponent and I are both within range of a Mud Slap, and it's a tie game. Well played. Gastrodon in the lead against Ferrothorn in the final game. Once again, I think that was, what, 5? That's got to be like 5 bad leads in a row, dude. I genuinely had that. But we draw out the Lapras. And Klefki is more than happy to just win this matchup. We can live a Sparkling Aria, but I'm going to assert dominance. We're going to go for a shield, and then I'm going to farm up to a bunch of energy, faking maybe I have Flash Cannon or Play Rough, and I'm going to go for the foul play. I shielded. I'm thinking maybe my opponent might as well, and we get the shield correct. Opponent is going to go for a Sparkling Aria here. I can let this go. I'm just going to shield the first to make sure that there's no nonsense of me like taking it and then them being able to outpace me after. I'm just like, you know, I'm going to put the shield down here. The opponent wants to shield, they can. And they decide not to shield the next move. Play Rough almost not going to be enough here, but we take them out with the Astonish after, and they're going to come back in with Ferrothorn. And I'm telling you, man, if they come back in with the Ferrothorn, you can bet that whatever's in the back is probably not a fan of Klefki, or they don't want to show it to me, right? They've already lost switch advantage, so I get my Mawile on this Ferrothorn, Gastrodon against whatever's in the back, and most often I've been seeing the Wheezing has been in the back of this kind of thing where we have like just top 3 PV poke sort of team. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case. We come in with Mawile. Opponent is going to go for a charge move here. And even if this is Flash Cannon, I'm letting it go. It's just a Power Whip, and that's fine with me. Opponent now going to come in with a Jellicent, and now things have gotten a little bit hairy. I'm going to have to go up to a charge move here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and I am going to shield this up. I have the Play Rough now. I'm going to swap into my Gastrodon. I can live any one charge move here. I'm going to just fire off the Earth Power, force the opponent to decide if they're going to shield or not. And I have a play rough loaded. They're going to be well within play rough range after these mud slaps finish, and that means we should be able to win the game as long as the game doesn't bug on us and give us one-turn lag. So at this point, they are definitely in range. They're firing off once they have 2 surfs loaded. A surf is probably enough to knock out my Mawile. We just need the one-turn lag not to hit us. We get the play rough in. Opponent was at the charge move. That's a CMP tie, and Mawile is going to be taking the final game, giving us some really nice gains. That was a 4-0-1 set. That is a 4-win and a tie, which is going to actually result in almost 60 ELO points up, and I am now reaching my new season high. Really excited to finally get some gains here after having struggled for the last couple of weeks in the Go Battle League. This team is really strong, and I can heavily recommend it. Again, if you don't have Klefki, you can run an Amoonguss or Galarian Weezing in its place. Let me know in the comments if the Spring Cup has been kind to you, if you've been having some gains, some good teams you've been running, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Thank you as always. Catch you later. Bye-bye.